this is Angelika Simpson from Stardust Express. My show is about truth issues, mysteries, metaphysics, spirituality, health, sacred sites. And today we are a bit late. Sorry, we had some kind of technical problems. So let's get started. I'm presenting today some interesting information about ancient sites, about archaeology, about Guatemala, Yucatan, Maya civilizations, and Ireland. My talks will be accompanied by the video footage, the photos of the original channel where I took my information from. So it will be hopefully very interesting tonight. And after I've done my presentations, my talks, I will continue to do vision work and memory work and mind work with you. And hopefully you have got some feedback for me for my past shows, and hopefully you will give me some information via the chat, how you find it all, the work I do together with you for your eyes, and the homework I gave you last week. So I'm looking forward to your feedback. All right, let's get started. My first story tonight is from a channel called Mystery History, and they entitled their video Giant Caucasian Head and Magnetic Statues Found in Guatemala. Long before the well-researched Olmec culture in Guatemala, archaeologists find evidence of an earlier civilization. The great head of Guatemala being the most controversial of artifacts found. This enormous stone face indicates that not only the Olmecs, or indeed one of the Hispanic races, once called Guatemala home. A gigantic, masterfully carved stone head with a face of fine features, thin lips and large nose, once engulfed in millennia of vegetation. This head was directed to the sky as if in eternal prayer. The discovery, unsurprisingly, attracted a lot of attention, just as predictably due to its unquestionable controversy. It quickly slipped into the pages of forgotten history. The initial discovery first emerged when Dr. Lara, a PhD and lawyer, received a photograph of the head in 1987, along with a vague description. It stated that the photograph was taken in the 1950s by the owner of the land, and that it was located somewhere in the jungles of Guatemala. The site was later established to have been 10 kilometers from a small village in the south of Guatemala. However, when Dr. Lara managed to travel to the site, a short while after the discovery had been widely circulated throughout the country, he found that the site, together with the Caucasian-featured stone face, had been obliterated. He stated, "It was destroyed by revolutionaries about 10 years ago. We had located the statue too late. It was used as target practice by rebels. This totally disfigured it. The eyes, nose and mouth had been completely destroyed." The team was able to measure its height as having been between 4 and 6 meters. Although, predictably, the stone head had been destroyed due to its controversial nature, it might still shine light on who was flourishing in the jungles far before any Olmec had ever stepped foot there. Additionally, and fortunately, the Stonehead is not the only pre-Olmec statue ever found. Named the Fat Boys, these other artifacts are another set of statues that, although not as racially controversial, possess characteristics even more so for the scientific world. These statues, retrieved and displayed, were discovered many years later to actually contain magnetic elements along with a number of anthropomorphic artworks from the same suspected civilization. These statues have magnetic characteristics positioned at specific locations. On the Fat Boys, it is found at the navel, although the animal statues contain them around the faces. The question is, how did an ancient culture so far back in history not only know about magnetism, but managed to create such artworks? Why did they create them? Were they attempting to tell their distant ancestors something? Regardless of the controversy surrounding their creators, they are highly compelling, like the authors are saying. I personally am convinced that these ancient cultures were highly advanced in shaping these megalithic structures, like the Fat Boys, for example, and that they were able to align the magnetic domains in localized parts of these sculptures. Concerning the head with, quote, the fine features, unquote, I find it cannot be proven if the statue was actually ancient. There's only an old photo. And where's the rest of the head? It might just be a hoax. The next video and the next story I'm telling you about is from ancient architects, and it is called Ancient Pre-Maya Cave Paintings Discovered in Yucatan, Mexico. There are more than 3,000 caves registered in Yucatan, Mexico. Within some of them, archaeological and paleontological remains are still undiscovered. Recently, a cave was found and the prints of positive and negative hands, as well as other drawings, were found inside. The cave in question is located deep within the jungle, and the cave art includes drawings of people, animals, insects, possible deities, and geometric figures, all on a section of the wall around 15 meters long and 5 meters high. The discovery of the paintings was led by archaeologist Sergio Abimeri of the Mexican Institute of Ecology, Science and Culture, and as well as the artwork, the cave also includes a small sinkhole full of blue water. He said these are not the only cave paintings in the Yucatan, but they are the most important because they have so many elements that many scientific publications are calling the artwork pre-Maya. The paintings have not been dated officially, but they used different techniques to the classic Mayan artwork and also used different pigments for the colors. In Yucatan there are other cases of pre-Maya paintings, and there is a strong resemblance to the new findings. One of the images that caught the eye of the explorers is a character holding a shield, while his other hand seems to be holding some kind of weapon. Specialists have interpreted this image to be a hunter, as it seems to be pointing to an animal that looks like a bird. These findings will no doubt provide new clues about the ancient inhabitants of the region. Yucatan has a rich cultural heritage. The Mexican archaeologist said the three levels of government, federal, state and municipal, do not appreciate or do not respect the sacred places of the Maya. They turn some of them into parks and beach resorts. He would like to see the cave open to the public one day. The architect believes the art of the ancient Mayas can't be hidden for just a privileged few. He says they should be exhibited with all security provisions, as a place with so much cultural value deserves. Now experts from the National Institute of Anthropology and History will travel to the cave to assist with recording, dating and interpreting the images. The exact location of the cave has not been made public yet, due to fear of looters and vandals. My next presentation refers to the Mayan culture as well, and it tackles a very interesting, very important question that tries to explain why the ancient Maya suddenly disappeared. Again, it is from Ancient Architects, and it's entitled Ancient Maya Civilization Destroyed by Massive Drought. Scientists from the University of Cambridge and the University of Florida have discovered that an enormous drought that swept across Mexico 1,000 years ago triggered the demise of one of the world's great ancient civilizations, the Maya. The downfall of such a mighty civilization has been the source of much debate, and the idea that drought was responsible has been muted for years. Researchers have discovered that annual rainfall decreased between 41% and 45%, with some periods of up to 70% at the time when the region's city-state was abundant. A team of international researchers took sediment samples from Lake Chichancana in Mexico's Yucatan Peninsula. Mick Evans, a PhD student of the University of Cambridge, said the role of climate change in the collapse of the classic Maya civilization is somewhat controversial, partly because previous records are limited to qualitative reconstructions. For example, where the conditions were wetter or drier. He continued, our study presents a substantial advance as it provides statistical, robust estimates of rainfall and humidity levels during the Maya downfall. Maya civilization is divided into four main periods. The pre-classic from 2000 BC to 250 AD, classic from 250 to 800 AD, terminal classic from from 800 to 1000 AD, and post-classic between 1000 and 1539 AD. The classic Maya civilization saw the enormous construction of monumental architecture for which the region is known. It also saw intellectual and artistic development and the growth of the large city-states. During the 9th century, however, there was a major political collapse in the center of the Maya region. Famous limestone cities were abandoned and dynasties ended. The Maya people did survive beyond this time. But by the time the first Europeans encountered them, their power was already severely depleted. Many have theorized that war, invasion, and environmental degradation, or the loss of trade routes, was the overriding cause for the collapse. New research published in the journal Science builds on earlier work from the 1990s that extreme drought was linked to the economic and political change of the time. The researchers analyzed 3 oxygen and 2 hydrogen isotopes trapped within the crystals of a mineral called gypsum, found within the lake, to reconstruct the history of the lake water between 800 and 1000 AD. When gypsum forms, water molecules are incorporated directly into its crystalline structure. During droughts, more water would have evaporated from the lake, and because the lighter isotopes of water evaporate faster, the water becomes heavier. Higher proportions of heavier isotopes, such as oxygen-18 and hydrogen-2, would therefore indicate drought conditions. Sorry. Researchers were able to build a model to estimate vast changes in rainfall and relative humidity over the period of the Maya collapse. The science really can't be disproved, and now scientists can use this data to predict the impact of droughts on agriculture in the region and work out exactly how a changing climate led to the end of the classic Maya civilization. I find this a very important finding and a very good explanation for the collapse of the Maya civilization. My last presentation for tonight is about a finding in Ireland. It's again from Ancient Architects and is entitled Archaeologists Uncover Find of a Lifetime in Ireland. Archaeologists in Ireland have discovered a 5,500-year-old megalithic passage tomb which has been dubbed the find of a lifetime. Archaeological research carried out by an agri-technical company and University College Dublin School of Archaeology unearthed a significant discovery in County Meath, not far away from the archaeological site Newgrange. To date, 2 burial chambers have been discovered within the western part of the main passage tomb, over which a large stone cairn, 40 meters in diameter, was raised. This makes it about half the size of the nearby New Grange. 6 cairnstones have been identified so far that form part of a ring of stones that follow the cairn perimeter. One cairnstone is heavily decorated with Neolithic carvings and represents the most impressive discoveries of megalithic art in Ireland for decades. During the project, a further 2 possible satellite tombs were also found. The lead archaeologist for the project said that for the archaeologists involved in this discovery, it is truly the find of a lifetime. Dr. Davis from University College School of Archaeology in Dublin said this is the most significant megalithic find in Ireland in the last 50 years. The spate of archaeological discoveries in the area in recent weeks highlights what a globally significant place this really is. The Boyne is the area where the River Boyne bends, and it contains one of the world's most important landscapes. The site's tombs represent the largest assemblage of megalithic art in Europe. Archaeologists have been working on the new sites since May 2017, and the team believes that the new tomb could be one of the earliest in the area. And although it is smaller than the most famous monument on the landscape, New Grange, it could potentially be the most significant. The lead archaeologist said that the people who built the tomb would possibly have been the great-grandchildren of some of the first farmers in Ireland. She continued in terms of signing these monuments. They must have been really good architects, engineers, and also astronomers, because we often get alignments with various different solstices. And we can also see from the art that we have had, that they were amazing artists as well. Even though we don't know what this art means, everyone who comes here is struck by it, in her words. So it's enormous, I mean, unbelievable. The architecture, the artwork, the understanding of astronomy, marvelous. So with this presentation, I finish my archaeologically studying for today. And I would like to continue now with working with you together to do some vision work to improve your eye condition, your eyesight, your mind, your memory. So please join me, and please give me a chat of what you make of it. I lost my papers, just a minute. I'm ready. So what I want you to do, to sit quietly wherever you are, remove your glasses, if you wear them, remove your contact lenses if possible, if not, just leave them in. And wherever you are, look around in your environment to see how, whatever you can see, and how it feels to look around, how things are for you, just to be aware. And now I want you to sit really comfortably wherever you are. Rub your hands together to make them really, really warm. And then have your fingers crossed like I show you here, and put your crossed hands over the bridge of your nose to cover your eyes. Have your eyes closed Make sure you make yourself comfortable with your elbows. Either put them on the table or put them on your knees, just to make sure that you are sitting in a good, comfortable position. So I give you just a moment to do that. And now I want you to have a look with your eyes closed, your hands over your eyes as well, what you can see when you look into the nothingness. What you can see, is it all dark? Is it all black? Do you get some light floating around? Is there some kind of movement? Do you get a sense of space in front of you, to your sides? Just notice it, just be aware. Notice how you feel, how relaxed you are or not, how your eyes feel at the moment. And now stay the way you are, and please only open your eyes when I tell you. So just enjoy the story. I am riding on a small ferry boat from the tip of the Yucatan Peninsula to an offshore island in the Caribbean Ocean. I see my hands resting on the white railing of the boat. Friendly sunlight splashes over me and spreads across the smooth, sparkling water. Diamond clusters twinkle on the turquoise surface. The sky overhead is a softer blue, empty and spacious. I ask the peacefulness and beauty of water and sky to enter my mind. When the ferry halts at the wooden dock, I feel the granulated seashells massage the soles of my feet. I walk along the shore, welcoming the fresh ocean air into my body. A mound of shells sits by the side of a stream that slides into a lagoon. It takes 2 hands to lift one shell. It is as large as my head, chalky gray on the outside and smooth, peachy pink on the inside. With seeing fingertips, I caress the shell, imagining what its home was like under the sea. The water heard me call its name and beckons. I wade into its coolness to the level of my hips. Iridescent pink and green fish flip their tails as I peek into their warm, liquid domain. The lagoon is a transparent window into a tranquil, expansive home of grainy white floors, furnished with red coral. A glowing purple fan coral undulates in the current, a living sculpture. Yes, you sprightly darting rainbow fishes, I will come and swim with you. In the joy of the thought, I pick up the shining water in my hands and fling it up into the sun, delighting in the cool sparkles sliding down my eyelids and cheeks. And with this image in your mind, slowly come back into your body. Feel yourself sitting on the chair. Feel your feet on the ground. Leave your eyes closed, please, all the time, but slowly remove your hands from your face. Sit back comfortably. And with your eyes closed, let your nose draw a few circles into the air. Now let the circle turn into an apple. Draw the apple into the air and give it all the colors you like in an apple. Now let your nose draw a triangle and let this triangle turn into a castle and draw the castle.
I came upon a child of God. He was walking along the road. When I asked him, "Where are you going?" This he told me. I'm going down to Yasmin.
Now let your nose draw a square and let the square turn into a cube and draw the cube.
We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to.
And now when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. And wherever you are sitting, again look around in your environment and just notice how it feels now. It might be brighter, it might be a bit more clearer, it might just feel better. And I want you just to enjoy the moment.
Well, maybe it's the time of year, or maybe it's the time.
And last week I gave you a homework to do, which had to do with the color red. What I was asking you to do is to paint in everything wherever you see the color red in your room, in your house, on the street, at your workplace. Every day when you see the color red, just to paint it in with your nose.
By the time I got to Woodstock, they were 500,000 strong. Everywhere there were songs and celebration, and I dreamed I saw the bombers right in.
So the question, somebody who asked the question, he's so red every week, he or she's so red every week, and why did it happen? Yes, because suddenly we, even if we don't have any kind of problems in seeing colors, we don't notice anything really, apart from if we have to. We take everything for granted. We take all the colors for granted, even in our own home, in our living room, the red cushion, the red carpet, doesn't matter, it's just red. And now suddenly I ask your brain to focus specifically on the color red in the environment wherever you are. And suddenly it's you become so much aware of the color red. All the other colors are there as well, but they fall by the wayside, so to speak, because we're focusing, the brain is focusing on one color only. So I think that should explain your question. If not, ask me again. And I would be interested in finding out what your experience were during the week. If you might have found that there was more red in the world than you would have ever thought. And that maybe in your environment, in your home, that you suddenly noticed the color red more intensely, and that things were suddenly more red than usual. For the next week, I want to invite you for another homework. This time is a little bit more complicated. Again, we need your nose to do the homework. And I want you to quickly remind yourself right now, draw a circle into the air with your nose. And then draw a triangle into the air with your nose. And the last thing, draw a square into the air with your nose. So for homework, I want to give you the task to focus on these 3 geometrical shapes only: circle, triangle, and square. And to choose one of the 3 for each day. Let's say, for example, Monday morning you wake up and think, today is my circle day. So the whole day I want to circle with my nose every circle I can find. Close up, far away, it doesn't matter. I don't have to see it clearly. I just outline each circle. When I'm getting bored, that could be as well, because you might find there are not too many circles around in the environment. Then of course you can change. You can say, okay, forget about the circles. I'll do the triangle now. And you focus on the triangle. So every day during the week, I want you to focus on one of these 3 geometrical shapes only. And again, I will be interested in hearing your experience of it, what you have discovered. And with this, I would like to finish for today. And I hope I see you all again next week. Goodbye.
Humanity has been on an epic journey of discovery, learning the truth about the world we live in. New discoveries about the true origins of humanity, ancient history, free energy, as well as the systematic corruption of world governments are now on the forefront of our daily reality. Is the world headed towards destruction based on control and power? Or is an opportunity now being presented to shift and uplift into a higher consciousness? My name is Mel V, co-founder and creative director of Conscious Consumer Network, an independent broadcast network that was launched on the 1st of January 2015. In the last 3 years, Conscious Consumer Network has broadcast over 2,800 shows in multiple languages, featuring guests from across the world, whilst creating media that is aimed at the creation of a free, fair, peaceful, just, sustainable world. Conscious Consumer Network provides full training and an interactive support network for all broadcasters, and we are always looking for inspiring and educational content.
Hi, this is Lainey Liberty.
And this is Miro Siegel.
In 2018, Conscious Consumer Network has expanded to multiple broadcast locations, increasing our availability and reach across the world, remaining on the cutting edge of independent media. If we wish to create a better world, we must first create better media, geared towards real education instead of indoctrination.
You guys really are what changing the world is going to be about. It's educating kids at a grassroots level.
Having become a pillar of stability in the turbulent world of independent media, we have even more going on in 2018. Conscious Consumer Network is a publicly funded network, and we rely on all of you to keep us on the air. Show your support for independent media by donating to our 2018 Network Support Fund. Dare to seek a better world. Support independent media.